I thought trading bots were a complete scam, and unfortunately or fortunately, I couldn't be further from the truth. What's up, guys? My name is 𝗧𝗥𝗬𝗣𝗧𝗢. I've been in crypto since 2016. That's when I bought my first Bitcoin, and I've been trading since 2018 manually, and today I am transitioning into bots. My friend called me about 2-3 weeks ago and he said, Pionex bots are the best thing. And I said I'm not interested, but he was pushing. I tested and the results are absolutely incredible. Look at this, we're up $100 in profit! Yeah! You see, this is what I'm saying. You can't do this manually. So Pionex is an exchange that is designed to help you run bots and build bots. So this is what we're gonna use today. There's a link in the description. You can get up to $1,000 sign-up bonus if you sign up using the link in the description. And also it will allow you to copy the bots that I set up. Also Linktree in the description to all the bots that we have. Let's get going. So number one, what you want to understand is that these are not your average, let's get the MACD, RSI, 287 trillion different indicators plugged into one bot and it works, because I still do not believe that those bots work on a long term, and I do think that at some point they are going to wreck the people who use them. What I believe in though is that grid bots, like what I'm going to show you today, can help you automate most of your trading. I'm going to explain to you the strategies that I use with the grid bot, but also I'm going to explain to you how to actually set this up. Let's get going. So number one, this is Pionex. If you use the link in the description, you can get the bonuses as well. And again, you will be able to copy the bots that we already set until you experiment on your own. Couple of things you want to know. You got to go into wallet. You got to click on deposit. You will need to deposit money into the bot. And once you deposited money to the bot, it will show up under your primary account. And once you have that, as opposed to other exchanges, you don't need to transfer between funding account and spot account and futures account. It's all basically at once. So what you gotta do is you gotta click on futures and future trading bots. Now, before I continue, it's very important to know that there are spot trading bots and futures trading bots. So when you use a spot grid bot, it is actually buying and selling the underlying assets. So if you set up a bot on Bitcoin, a grid bot on spots, it is actually buying Bitcoin, and you can withdraw that Bitcoin as well. The good thing is you can never get liquidated as opposed to futures and leverage. You will always have the token even if the bot goes out of the grid. So worst case scenario, you just have to wait. The bad thing is if you only have a couple of $1,000s that you would put into this bot, it will be very difficult to make substantial gains, because let's say the bot makes 10% in a month. That means that you are basically making $100 on $1,000, whereas you could do maybe $500 on a futures trading bot. Futures trading bot, on the other hand, uses leverage, and that gives a little bit of extra risk to it, but I'm going to address risk management because that's one of the most important that we do here on the channel. So when you land on here, you will see it's a very simple user interface, very similar to what you can see on another exchange. The only difference is that here on the right side, we don't start with the actual quantity of buy and limit order, but we start with the bots. This is why I love Pionex, because it is designed for you to do bots. So here you will see the bots. I'm going to talk about them in a second. You see the order book, which is also very important. You see the token that you want to trade, you see the price and all the other data, and you see your open positions down here. So one thing you want to do is you want to analyze what token you want. Let's say we have a bot on Bitcoin, which we do have down here. It's 11% profit. And so you want to set up a bot on Bitcoin. You want to select your time frame, on what time frame do you want to look at it, and then you can start experimenting or setting up your bot. On the right side, you will see multiple different bots. I'm going to do tutorials on here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications with the bell icon, and come back. But for now, I just want to talk about the futures grid bot. So I can click on futures grid and it will give me a bunch of different things. Now, again, you can rewatch this video. There are timestamps below. It might be a little bit overwhelming at the beginning, but please carry on, because I promise you it is much more simpler than it looks. So grid bots are basically systems that buy and sell based on a certain criteria that you provided it to. So for example, I can see a price moving like this. I have a beautiful structure. I have a low, I have a high, I have a low, I have a high. I know that this is my bullish structure. Within this structure, however, a lot of times we have consolidations where the market is pulling back just to have another low formed and then another high created. This is the area that you actually want to target when you are playing with a grid bot, whether that's on the 1 minute chart or the daily or weekly chart. So when you have a price action like this, when it comes to a grid bot, you can set it up to a certain area and it will buy and sell within that accumulation area. So right now, if we were to look at this structure here, I would pull this as the bottom of the range and I would pull this as the top of the range. That means that it will set up a grid in this area where it will buy every single time the price drops and sell every single time the price increases. Therefore, when you would wait for a pullback, you don't have to manually layer into a position because you still expect a continuation on this, but you can start layering in with a bot and realize profits as the market moves even just 1%. Again, bear with me here, I'll show you how it works on the bot. So you see here, I go onto the daily chart and I set this up on the daily structure, right? For now, what you see here is that it will layer in every single time the price drops. So if the price starts dropping here from 117,000, it will just buy. And as the market starts bouncing, it will immediately sell as well. So let's say the market goes all the way down to 110,000, it will buy, but anytime there is just a tiny bounce here, as you see here, you can zoom in, these are the little grids that I set up, it will sell as well. So it goes down here to the 117,900 price, holy shit, Bitcoin is pushing, and then anytime it bounces back up here to 1800, it will sell at 1800, 500, and it will sell it at 1800, 700, and so on. I'll demonstrate this on the 1 minute chart so you can see. I'm gonna set up a bot here on the 1 minute chart so you can learn how to actually do that and even see the actual mechanism. So let's look at Solana because that's the easiest to look at, and go down onto the 5 minute chart. Again, you can select the range on any different time frames that you want. The reason why I'm gonna use the 5 minute chart and the 1 minute chart, because we will see it work out real time and you will understand the mechanics. So you go down, I'll actually do the 1 minute chart because it's easier. So I have a 1 minute range here, right? This is my range from down here at 171 all the way up here to 173. Now, because I'm bullish on this chart, I don't think this is the bottom on the day. So I will set up my bottom be to the range to be 171, but the top will not be this top at 174. Maybe I'll put it at 177. So when I selected the pair, I can go and click on futures grid and it will give me a bunch of things to add. Price range. Also, you can have this little information icon here, but it's the lowest price in USDT. Again, I want to set my bot up to 171 here. This is the bottom of the range, 171. So I'm going to say 171. That's the bottom of the range. Then what do I want the top to be? I do believe that we're going to come up here to 175. So I'm going to go 175. Now we still see nothing here. So we're just still setting it up. You can also do it on, if I open this up here. So I just pulled up the SOL chart here on TradingView so I can also explain. This is my range here, right? So I'm gonna go 171. This is my range down here, and I'm gonna target 175, something like this. So within this range, the bot will start buying and selling within this range, right? So if I go here, we still don't see nothing on the chart. We just set this up. So then here you can set up how many grids you want. Grids quantity, how many grids should we play with? How frequently should it buy and sell? You can set up, let's start with 10 so you just see how it looks. If I say 10, it will immediately put up the grids and it will say that you have 10 grids, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 to the top, right? If I go 20, I'm gonna have 10 grids to the bottom and 10 grids to the top. So it will layer out within my range, 10 down, 10 to the bottom. If I go 100, it will give 50 to the bottom, 50 to the top, okay? So every green line is a buying place and every red line is a selling place. Very important. So let's do 50 grids just because it's going to be easier for it to manage. And when you set up 50 grids, that means 25 to the bottom, 25 to the top. Then I can add my investment amount. When I go down here, it says what's the minimum. More I increase the leverage or more I decrease the leverage, more I increase the number of grids, this will change based on that. So if you see that, for example, I can go and add 10 grids, it will go down to $5 each. If I go to 90 grids, it will go up to 55. So it depends on what you want, and also the same thing with leverage. So, but once you have this set up, you can select the investment amount that you want to add in. Now, here is very important thing. It says here auto reserve, right? It says enabling this function allows you to allocate collateral from your investment amount. It increases the margin between the estimated liquidation price. What does this mean? It basically makes this a cross account trade, right? So you can add extra margin and therefore it becomes a cross position. It's not like the money you put in, that's all you can lose, but it's the money you put in plus you can add extra margin. If you tick this out, that means that the money you can lose is only the amount of money that you put in the trade. There is no extra margin to it. right? So let's say I put in $500 here into this trade, right? I put in $500, it will give me multiple reasons. Now I have the bottom of the range, I have the top of the range, I have the quantity of the grids, and I have the actual investment that I want to put in. It will tell me on the bottom here, what is my estimated liquidation price? It's 109. That means that if the price for any reason would go down to 109, I would get liquidated. But because the bot will stop doing anything at 171, because that's what I provided here as the bottom layer, I have nothing to worry about. I can do a couple of things though. Let's say I say, okay, I can actually lose $200 on this bot. If it goes against me, if it goes against my thesis, I can lose $200. So what I can do is I can increase my leverage so much so that my liquidation price becomes the bottom of the range. So you see now it's 169.8, which is 170 basically, almost down here. So I know if the bot goes all the way down here, I am going to lose this $200. Therefore, I don't have to worry about the market nuking and what my stop loss is going to be and how much I'm going to lose exactly. It's almost impossible to calculate how much you're going to lose because it always layers in, it always sells, so you don't really know. But this way, you can make sure that you don't lose more than $200 or the amount that you put in the bot. So again, remember auto reverse, I ticked it out if I want to use this strategy. I'm going to show you another two strategy a little bit later. You can do this and then you can know that you are not going to lose more than $200. Then you go down here and then you can go create. One more thing I wanted to show you, what happens if you're waiting for a pullback. I'm actually going to show you in the second part of the video, so keep watching. Okay, and then I can click on create. It will tell me how much Solana it will start with. 36% of my money will go into Solana immediately, so it has room to sell. And then 63% is going to be reserved for buys on the way down. Then it will click on OK. It has a big sound, ding, and then off we go. So if I click on this, you will be able to see the bot setup. You'll be able to see the position here is 0.9% minus because it did not bounce from the price we started buying it. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is the following. When price moves, the grid actually follows through. That means if you see, for example, now it hit a green line. The green line means a buy. So it bought that and it added another red line on top to immediately sell as well. So when we're gonna push through this level here, we're gonna sell, and if you see, there will be a green line that will pop up. You see, here's a green line. This basically means that it sold one there and then it immediately put a green line above so it can buy. The price is followed by the grid. The grid always moves with the price within the range that you have provided. So if the price moves like this, moves up a little bit, there is a new line that comes up, a buying limit order. If the price moves down, there is a new limit order that comes to the top. So the price is always, always, always followed by the grid. This is why the grid can make actual money. Now, if you click on here on detail, you will see what your bot actually did so far. So first of all, you will see what the current position is. 20 Sol, you have 20 Solana long, that's the current position. What's the estimated liquidation price? What's the break-even price? 173. Now, you see placed. What are the orders? These are the grids. You don't really have to do anything about it, but you see it. Then you can go on transactions. It already executed one transaction as we actually saw it real time, but you will see how many it averaged. So for example, if I go down on my Hype bot, which is running for 5 days now, you will see that it actually has 48 transactions. It has today, it has 276 transactions, about 46 transactions average on a day. And then you have parameters. So if you want to adjust something, let's say the market starts dumping, let's say the market starts pumping, and you want to adjust your liquidation price, you want to adjust your leverage, you want to adjust whatever, you can just click on edit price, and then you can make sure to adjust your lower range, higher range, and the grid as well. You can create a reverse block. Let's say something happens and then you want to short. I don't recommend you do that now, but just saying, and then you will see your funding history if you want to keep adding to the bot. It is quite simple. This is basically how you do it. So a couple of things to note here. One is the total profit. Now this is unrealized. Imagine it as you open a trade, a long position, and it doesn't take profit until you close the trade. The same thing here. The bot keeps running, keeps making money, keeps trading in the range that you provided, but until you stop the bot, and you can click on stop the bot to stop it, it will not take this profit onto your account actually, okay? So it will stay in the bot, you will see it on your account, but you will not be able to take this money out until you stop the bot, okay? So that's the important part. Here, the grid profit actually gets allocated. So this is the, so to say, realized profit. They also use this to keep adding to the margin and manage the position. But just so you know, this will end when either the bot reaches either side of the upper or the lower limit, then the bot stops and you can simply stop it and withdraw the profits. Or anytime you can just stop a bot. You can just click on stop the bot and then you bang the profits, and that's basically it. So for example, I set up this bot here. All of these, by the way, you will have access to. So you'll have access to the ton bot down in the description on the link tree, the BTC long-term bot, the 𝗧𝗥𝗬𝗣𝗧𝗢 long-term bot, the ETH long-term bot, the Athena long-term bot, all of them down in the description you will be able to see. And you can have, so for example, a pump for me is like a hype bot. So I know I'm not doing this for long term. I just open it up on the hype news and I can just stop it anytime because I know that it was for the hype. Or for example, I opened this Pendle trade up because the Genius Act happening on the day I'm recording this video, the Genius Act vote in the United States. So if that passes, it will be very, very good for Pendle as stablecoin because of the stablecoins. So I opened this grid bot up, it will just buy into the volatility and I'll close it once the news is completely out. So this is how you can take profits and this is how you can manage your position. You can also modify the name of the bot if you want. So I can say tutorial bot and it will just rename it and then you can do whatever you want with it. So there are one more thing that I wanted to show you, which is pretty cool besides the strategies, right? So if you follow the content, if you're not, you should be subscribed to the channel and check me out on X. There's a link in the description. But if you have followed my content, you know that I trade retracements, right? So I trade the 50% structure, I trade market structure, and markets usually retrace 50%. So why the bot is really, really helpful for me is that I can just say, I know we have a market structure shift here, right? A market structure shift, and I know we should come back 50%, but I don't know if we're gonna have a market structure shift here. I don't know when. I'm not available. I miss so many trades like this. So now I don't have to wait for that because I know this low should hold. If it doesn't, it's a stop loss anyway, so it doesn't matter. So what I can do now is that I can go onto a chart and I can say, okay, if there is a low formed here, a high, there should be a 50% retrace. So I can set the bot to start working from the 50% of a certain leg. So if you go here, I go on futures bot and I go onto Solana. Okay, so this here, for example, is a very good example. This here is the low of the 1 hour chart. I do not think Solana is going under this low. If it does, it goes into a deeper pullback. So I want to be out of the market anyway. So what I can say, I can set up a bot at 156 upper limit. I think Solana is going to new highs. So I'm thinking like 220, maybe, you know, I'm just setting up a high where I think it's going to go. This is the hourly low, the hourly structure, and I want to see a 50% retrace before I start layering in. So the 50% retrace would be down here at 166. So what I want to do, I will add, let's say 200 grids here. I want to add here where it says trigger price, I want to add the 50% level, which is 166. So I can say, look how it will change. Look how the grid will start changing here. Look how it will change. I go here, 166. I'll add the trigger price as 166. Bam! So it actually puts the buy-in, the starter level down here at 50%, and it will only layer in under 50%. Therefore, you are not just, so you can use this as actual trading help when you look at, even on the 15-minute chart, you can just look at it and be like, okay, so this is the 15-minute low here. I wanted to, so for example, this is such a good example here. Okay, let me just show you this. This is such a good example. So look here, 15-minute low, right? So you are trading the 15, again, check out one of our videos. I teach you how to trade. I have all this market structure. I have a community on Telegram. There's a link in the description as well. You can join that. It's completely for free. This is how, for people who are, you know, probably trading, it can be complemented as well. So you look at this. This is a very strong 15-minute low here, right? So you look at this and I say this took liquidity. This had an impulsive move. So this should come back to 50. So what you do, very simply, you just measure this move and you go, the 50% should come down at 170. And this is what you do. You set up a bot at 170, trigger price 170. This is 165, the bottom of the range, and you can go all the way to 220 because there is no upside. You set up a 100 bot thing, and then it will start layering in at the 50%. So it would have bought 2-3 times, and then it would just layer out. You would already be up 10, 15, 20% on this bot by simply trading the 15-minute chart, and then you can just add how much you want to trade with, and then you can protect with ticking out auto reserve. You can protect yourself, you can go to sleep, and it will layer in on the 50% level. So it's actually quite cool. I'm gonna do a special dedicated video just on this, but ultimately this is how you can use the bot. Or another great example is when there is news coming. Comes in at 0.2! Holy shit, we're going to fucking Valhalla! Bro, look at this. Look at this, we're up $100 in profit! Yeah! Yeah! You see, this is what I'm saying. You can't do this manually. For example, there is FOMC happening on the 30th of July, right? So what you don't want to do is you don't want to sit there and start manually trying to time the bottom, but you can set a range, an hourly range, and be like, okay, probably the price will move in between these ranges. So I want to sit there, I set the bot up with 200 grids, and I just make sure that it just, you know, keeps buying and selling until the volatility continues. And then at the end of the FOMC, I just close the bot down. And that is basically it, guys. I hope that you liked it. I hope that this gave you any value. If it did, leave a comment, let me know. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. And also make sure to check out the links. So we do have the Telegram, the free Telegram group link down in the description. We do have my X, and also, of course, we have the trading bots that you can copy as well. So check it out all in the description. We're gonna pin it in the comment section as well. If you have enjoyed this, check out this video. This teaches you about all the market structure that I've been talking about. You can click here to subscribe and come back for another one. I believe I'll see you in the next one. Take care.